All right, so I'm assuming that there's audio because I'm on my mobile right now, so there should be audio. Um, no one here, but there will be people here, and I'll just repeat it. Basically, so the last video, I literally tried everything, from making an event to just streaming live straight up on the laptop. No matter what I did, I couldn't get. At first, I couldn't even get video. Once I finally got that figured out, the audio didn't work, and I never messed with the audio. My audio works on every video I do, and so I even tried made some adjustments to the audio. Still nothing. I was doing that actually live, as you guys could see. It looks like they're trying to, ever since NZ and Christ, where's he? People go to somewhere to worship him. You put those two words together, and you know what I'm talking about, and NZ, and that's ever since then that's been a way, and not just then, but also, um, the Lanka Sri. Even though saying it backwards doesn't help any better with the algorithm, I found out. So might as well say Sri Lanka. So ever since those two events, basically what happens is they, you know, it, they don't like people on live. And normally, if you're gonna be able to see, the thing is on the phone, there's nothing I can do as far as like I can't bring you to articles. I can't read along with you. I can't. There's nothing I can do. So what they don't want is when you go on your laptop, because there's so many different capabilities with the different operating systems that you can do, and I that's what I do all my call-in shows. I do all my shows. I only use the mobile very rarely. I mean, I use it when I woke up this morning about the whole alert thing, but that just seems so like nothing now, with this breaking news. So this all started, before dawn, in um, Venezuela, where in Caracas is where Maduro is, and right now the opposition leader Guaido. He actually was shown in Venezuela with the security forces. They call them the international security forces behind him, and it seems like they're the more powerful military. And he's just urging those with Maduro in the military to help him, kind of carry out this final phase of the coup. I mean, it seems like the security forces have been winning the whole time. So this all has the Trump administration's fingerprints all over it. But then again, we should not want Russia there. Now, oh, I'm sorry. He might be in Caracas, and the reason I think he's in Caracas, by the way, is that's where the Russian military is. They're in Caracas, so which is a city, I believe. But yeah, I think it's one of the biggest cities. So anyway, cause if I got it mixed up, it almost sounds like someone in the Caribbean, but that would make no sense. So anyway, that's where the Russian military is. But then again, that's where their ships is out to sea as well. But like I've told you guys a million times, people worry about the Russian Navy and their little new thing where they can send a drone with a nuke. Ooh, like we have technology so beyond that. The U.S. Navy is what keeps us the most powerful country in the world. I mean, not only is the Marines part of the Navy, and by the way, I read some of the comments from the stream earlier. I just wanted to say, you know, hey, Olivia, I saw a lot of Navy people in there. I'm trying to remember the names. Brooks, I love some of the stuff you said. In the Navy, what was it? Um, in the Navy, I was good to the Navy, but rotten to the core. That's a good one. I mean, because it's kind of like even though we're all under the U.S. Navy, it's like a little feud thing. Like that's what I was trying to explain to you. The only time I ever slept walked, it was really being blacked out. But I wouldn't let two Marines outdo me. So whatever. Anyway, so the story right now, Olivia, you can't go on camera. You can't go on camera. I just don't like that. I don't like my daughter on camera. I always try to keep it off. It's okay. It's okay. It's important news. So, anyways, okay. So basically, that's going on right now. And then just 3 hours ago, he came out. He was live with some brass, as well as, of course, the forces I was telling you about, the internet. I mean, not international, but the national security forces. Force, which is obviously back, trained, and with support of the U.S. military. And now this all explains all of the military blackout. They were blaming it on the U.S. and they were right. But like I said, even in the funny video this morning that was supposed to be funny, um, I even mentioned the first thing you do in war is shut down the communications of the opposition. That's the first thing you do in war is shut it down. So obviously that's what's been going on as we've been hearing about these blackouts in Venezuela, and they have been blaming the U.S. government. I know. You pretending to be on the phone too? Let me just get this out quick. All right, so as you guys saw, I try to go live on the laptop, and no matter what I do, I mean, I go live on this laptop every single night, never have a problem. I mean, I remember like my first two videos, I had a problem, but I never had a problem. The only other video this ever happened with, where there was a problem with the audio, was the George Soros video, which is kind of funny, because everything was correct then too. So basically, I think that they're trying to censor it for now. When a coup goes down, so not only do we have all lights going out before, but right now there is it. If you guys saw, even though no sound, I try to go to certain places, play videos. I had to stop it every 10 seconds or like 10 to 15 seconds, and then play again. It seems like that would play audio, but they're making sure that my voice doesn't interject, and I think that would go for a lot of people, that they are making sure to censor. So basically, my take on all this is obviously this is backed by the Americans, which is why I think it will be successful. But of course, there is that one little problem, and that is that the Russian forces are right there. So it's a very sensitive issue. I know that there were just some meetings with Russia, so I wonder if the U.S. gave them a heads up. Although it doesn't seem like Maduro got a heads up, because one of the first reports that I saw, and I had it translated into English, showed that something went by his head and it ended up being a canister with gas, and they gas masked him and brought him away. His allies. So I wonder, was that in my head I'm like, if you have the shot, why not take the shot with the bullet, right? I know he's surrounded by security guards and military, but um, they were able to whiz one right by his head. I mean, maybe that makes more sense. Not only do it with a certain gas take him out, take out all his closest allies. So there's a lot of interesting developments going on. And like I said, this has been kind of brewing, especially like the past 10 hours. And basically, it was brewing like yesterday afternoon for them, and then it really became real when all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, like 3 in the morning, there's this video put out of Guaido that I guess went everywhere. Although now the internet's down, and he said, we are starting the coup, and he had his forces, and of course that's forces that are backed, funded, and trained by American forces. You know that there's special forces amongst them. Um, we're talking Navy SEALs. We're talking the whole deal. Um, and I wouldn't be surprised if Maduro ends up. They like to take them alive, but then again, I don't know. We'll see. I think that this is going to be a successful coup, unlike in 2015, if you guys remember. I mean, 2015, and then in 2017, and that was the last big one. And he ended up, like changing up the whole military. So he has people that are generals now that really, especially in a country like this, they don't exactly have all the money in the world. But being a socialist country, they just they starve the people. And the thing is, that's why now it makes sense why Pompeo has been pleading to the people of Venezuela. And who else has been pleading to? Oh yeah, the pleading to Iraq. So I don't know if this was in the alerts. You say I'm not full alerts. I haven't gotten a chance to sign up yet, but alert! There is a ongoing coup, and I think this is going to be successful, backed by the Americans. There has to be some kind of agreement with Russia. I mean, either that or we're seeing the beginning of World War III. If we're looking at this from a bigger picture, I mean, no one would think the Russians would stand down. I mean, but maybe we'll let them get some of their more expensive equipment out of there. Um, Now, that's why, thank God, we have not great relationship with the Russians, but better than we would have under Clinton. I'll tell you that, because there was a 16-year plan for this country, and I think that it's funny how, and Q mentioned this, as soon as the president removed the blockade, aka Mueller report, the words said to him were "fire at will, President." And all of a sudden, you see Pompeo coming out, and the same things he was saying to Venezuela, he's now saying to Iran. And things don't happen overnight. Sometimes they do, like when we retaliated for what happened in Syria. Although some people kind of don't like that because they think that he was baited into that. But then again, we don't know the intelligence he knows. So it turns out that there was a reason for all this. If you look at my last video, like I said, you will see that there is, I go through the articles. You can read along with the articles. You don't need my voice. I even tried to turn closed captioning on, and it wouldn't let me do that. So it's like annoying. I'm gonna try it again. But I just wanted to get this information out here. So that's where it stands right now. So just like we've been cutting their lights out, well, guess what? Now we're like, this is when cryptologists are in there, and they've been kind of studying them, but they're in there jamming their signals, and not only that, but they are intercepting intelligence. They are decrypting that intelligence. They probably already got their codes. We are, sending. Although that wasn't my job, but the other cryptologists sending encrypted information, and I think it's going to be a successful coup, unlike the ones in the past. So, but it's too early to say because right now there is no internet and no power in Venezuela. So basically, it's just like, I mean, that's just like I said earlier, even in that stupid funny video, I said the first thing you do is take away communications. So that's what they're doing. That's why there hasn't been any like updates really. So as soon as I get updates, and like I said, I saw chatter about this before I heard it on Fox News. I was about to go live, and all of a sudden it came on Fox News, and I'm like, all right, Fox News is on, but I'm sure that I was the first to it on YouTube, at least as far as like Americans go, because I saw a video from someone in Venezuela. So, but I broke the story at least, here. So that's my sixth broken story, by the way. But who cares? It's just a rush. That's all I want to say. I just wish that they weren't messing with the laptop, because I go live every day on a laptop, no problems. But on the Soros in Guatemala, and then now this, both times audio doesn't work. Except now I know enough that I can set up closed captioned. Except I didn't anticipate sound being down, so I didn't set it up ahead of time. And you can't set it up during the video, so I'm gonna see if I can set it up now that I've already put in the video up. Okay, and I just don't know which of the three to put as my featured video. Um, Maybe this one, because this one might have the most concrete information, as far as what's been reported by mostly Venezuelan TV, Israeli TV, American TV, British TV, Russian TV. We saw things from different perspectives. Russian TV, they kept on emphasize how this was an American led, which isn't true, but then again, in a way it is, but not American led. These are on the ground. The forces actually doing it all are these security forces, and it really, the military might just stand down or just turn their guns the other way and save their country, hopefully. But, I think everyone agrees socialism is a bad idea. Now, there's other situations where, we overthrow people and it causes, a place to be destabilized, hence Iraq. But I think this is the right move here. Um, Maybe there was kind of like some kind of deal made, like, all right, listen, we're about to go with Iran, but we'll, hold off on that. Maybe talk some peace talks. Maybe, maybe Russia thinks it gets an upper hand, because I just can't imagine the U.S. doing this with the Russian troops right there when you can start World War III so easy. If one special forces of Russians goes in and they get killed, although when special forces get killed, that's kind of like not reported till later, usually given a BS story. It's all classified. So that might not cause it, but like regular troops getting killed, or, how do they look if they just stand down while we take their new friends out? So it'll be curious to see, and please stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'll keep coming out with updates, but that's what I have for now. If you want to look at the last video with the different upload, basically the two mobile are the same screen as far as uploading, but as far as the thumbnail, the other the other thumbnail, originally there was one with him being like rushed out of somewhere, and I downloaded it, but it wouldn't let me do anything with it. It was so funny. There was so much weird stuff going on. But then it would let me put up the one of him, Mr. Chesty with all his medals, officially in full military, dress, and along with his top brass, who will most likely turn on him to save their skin. Maybe not a few of them. I'm sure they'll stay with him all the way to whatever end it comes, but I believe this will be a successful coup. But so far, it's just kind of a blacked out area, because there's real operations going on, and the fact that it's going on now for 3 to 4 hours tells you that neither side is going down easy because sometimes these coups they just boom they happen, that's it. They take over the radio stations and the TV stations, which I did see a report of, and I also translated that to English, and it said that forces took it over, but it seemed like anti-American because said with the help of the Trump administration's military or whatever, and basically they've taken over total communications, not just encrypted military, but as well as to the public, and that's the most important thing because the public tried this before and they lost, but now if they actually have not only um, a substantial, trained, equipped security force, but maybe even some of the military, most likely some of the military, and also backed by the U.S., which means money, weapons, propaganda, know-how. I mean, this is what we do, right? So, but I think this is a situation where it's a good thing. No war is good, but hopefully there'll be minimum casualties. He'll go down one way or the other quickly, and there'll be minimum casualties. So that's where we stand right now. Just wanted to give a updated report as of right now. And by the way, right now is it is 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Okay. So I mean, I could always do stuff like this. I could turn the camera around and you guys can see what is really going on the ground. Oh, see, so it looks like the people are hitting the streets. Here it is right here. Although roughly, that kind of supports Russian. It's usually pro-Russian, but we'll see. Oh yeah, there's flags, so they're protesting. We're protesting Maduro. I'm just surprised that Rutledge is the one. Yeah, Suzanne, it's very hard to get info. I'm just lucky I know how to access certain parts of the web, but yeah, it's very difficult. But I can't play you those certain parts of the web, so that's kind of what my talk was about, was giving you those updates. That's what I found there. Everything else, what you're seeing, you can find.
Today, a large number of brave army soldiers are standing behind me in support of the
And this is what
Venezuelan
he said.
Constitution.
Oh, this is actually what he just
I call
said.
on all Venezuelan people to take to the streets to support what we've done in the last few years. It's important to be on the streets now, that we have the support of the army as well as the international community.
Oh, so they don't have the full support of the army yet, even after all this blackout.
All Venezuelans who want freedom should come here.
If we did, they wouldn't be asking the American public. I mean, the American public, the Venezuelan public. So that is right there. Okay, and then I'll see what else we got. All right, Olivia, I'm gonna be right with you. Just give me 1 second, baby. Baby, I'm right with you, okay? Alright, so we don't want to see all Rupley either, but this is interesting. Oh, I got it backwards. Okay. Olivia, come here. Come here. Come here. Come watch this. Well, not this, but come here. What is it? Where'd the cup go? Where's the sippy cup? Come on. I feel like we just okay. I'm trying to see if there's anything new. Yeah, that's another thing, guys. Be careful with this whole. I know that we kind of a lot of us heard on my Google, but be careful with this whole measles thing. It just doesn't make sense. Um, and by the way, so this is when it officially started right here.
Breaking news out of Venezuela, where opposition leader Juan Guaido has begun what he calls the final phase of his plan to oust President Nicolas Maduro. Guaido has called on Venezuelans and the military to support him in ending what he describes as Maduro's usurpation. Now, in a video posted online, Guaido is seen speaking alongside men in military uniform and opposition politician Leopoldo Lopez, who is under house arrest. Now, he says he is at the Caracas airbase La Carlota. And here is some of Juan Guaido's speech from earlier. Let's listen in.
Venezuela.
It's not showing.
As you know, our struggle has always been within the framework of the Constitution.
It's a nightmare with the baby crying. Alright. Oh, here we go.
To save lives, to work for the most vulnerable.
Olivia, look. It's okay, look.
Capabilities, always within the framework of our Constitution.
Look at
In
the
this
baby,
process, we said that when the people are on the streets, we would assume the competencies. When the international community support broadly our struggle, we would be with the people of Venezuela.
Olivia, come
Now
here,
I
please.
call on the civil servants for our fundamental component,
Can
not
I
only
mute
for the
the
transition,
background?
but also for the reconstruction of Venezuela, to recover national sovereignty. Our armed forces today, courageous soldiers, courageous patriots, courageous men who follow the Constitution, have responded to our call. We've come together in the streets of Venezuela.
Because they say he was the one
Operation
rightfully
Freedom,
elected,
the
but
committees of
Maduro
freedom
wouldn't
and
give
aid
it
I
up
invite you to
and
be activated immediately.
made these
I
new
invite you
laws
to
that
cover the
kept him in
streets of
power.
Venezuela. May
He's been
1st
slowly
began
kind
today.
of
The
taking over
definitive
this
end
country, as
of
you, a
usurpation
lot of you know.
began today.
Now this guy is the American educated, alleged, but most likely true, true president of Venezuela who's been in exile in Miami. But it looks like they haven't exactly just been on the beach, on South Beach. They've been preparing this for a while now. Okay, so let's see, the one video I wanted to show you for sure. And that is a very interesting one. Cause some of these are like old. See, like some of them are like years ago. Cause this has been there's been many coups on him, but I think this one's gonna be successful because Trump's in office and he's pretty good at keeping things in the DL. He almost made us think Iran was about to happen, and then this happens instead. And that might be some kind of, negotiation with Russia. Well, you know what? We won't go after Iran right now, but we are going to overthrow Venezuela, and you're going to get out of there in Caracas. But that's remained to be seen. I'm gonna see what the Russians response. I don't know what their official response is. And we'll end it there because, like I said, right now it seems like the internet's down, and yeah, see, you see other people, but you don't see anybody as early as me. I broke this story. Yep, all these 35 minutes ago. Yeah, I broke this story. Alright, that's my sixth story broken. Because the only guy I saw was this guy, and he's in Venezuela. That was the only thing when I first uploaded the first of the 3 videos. Okay, so, alright, Olivia, I'm coming right now. I'm just trying to see something. So, Trump is a Russian agent. Well, guess what?
There, that's the opposition leader in Venezuela, Juan Guaido, atop a car in Caracas, Venezuela, where earlier today he said he has members of the military, security forces on his side, and called
I'm
on
sorry,
the
I
people
mixed up.
of Venezuela to join
That's where Guaido
in a
is
rebellion
Caracas.
against the government,
Okay.
against the sitting government
I
of
could have
Nicolas
sworn that's where
Maduro.
Russia
U.S.
was. Too.
officials, from the vice president to the secretary of state to the national security advisor.
Oh yeah, and
have
Twitter
all
is
expressed public
interesting as
support
well.
for Guaido and for the people
Maybe
behind
we'll take a look
today.
at Twitter real
On the
quick.
right of your screen, that is some of the activity between those protesters and security forces. We heard gunfire earlier in the day. A very tenuous situation on the ground. We have people on the ground. We've been following it. CNN Chief International Correspondent Clarissa Ward, she has covered this country for some time. Clarissa, difficult to judge at this point.
She's the one that does every country. She had Syria, she had Iraq, she had
Is there a
Afghanistan.
significant number
I want to
of
see a
members of the
real
military who
specialist.
are
She does
backing
every
Guaido
single
willing to go to war in effect to remove
conflict.
the
She's
Maduro
good,
government and
but
significant numbers of people.
she's better in the
Yeah,
Middle
what
East
do we know?
because she knows their
Well,
languages.
that's the real question, Jim. And I would say certainly this doesn't look like any coup attempt that I have covered before. To see Guaido standing on that truck with his bullhorn, essentially
Exactly, like I said.
appealing
There's
to
been
members
many
of the
coups,
military to
but
join his movement to help topple Maduro. It doesn't
this one's
look like
different.
a coup, the likes of which we saw, a couple of years ago in Turkey,
Yeah.
for example, where you had
Well, what about the one in
military
Venezuela?
units deployed on the streets, where you had
I'll
tanks,
just shut
where
up
they
and
were
let you
shutting
listen.
down bridges, where they were trying to shut down state media. So this is not a conventional attempted coup in any sense of the word. It does appear clearly that Guaido has some support of certain military elements. He appeared earlier this morning in that video. We've heard testimony in the past of senior operatives within the military who have.
All right, listen. All right, so
but the key thing is in your question, Jim. Has it reached a critical
nothing new.
mass? Looking at these pictures,
So I have to
always
tend
very
to my
difficult to
child.
tell.
I
There's
just
something of a
wanted to
social
get
media
the
blackout
latest
going on
out
right now,
and
so we're
not
only
leave
getting
you
very
with
spotty
a
sense
audioless
on the ground,
video. But if you
of
watch
what
that
is
video,
happening. But
you
certainly
will be
it
able
doesn't
to
appear
see
yet, judging from
clearly,
the
you know,
speech we
like
just heard from
I kind of
Guaido,
highlighted
judging from the
things
pictures
and,
we are seeing
you
on
know,
the
kind of
ground,
showed you
that
where to
critical
read.
mass has
Didn't
yet
really
been reached. And
matter that my
certainly
voice
the
was there
president,
because there was a
Maduro,
video prior
himself standing
with the initial
strong, at least
findings and
purporting
then
to
kind
stand
of
strong
a
on
wrap
his
up
Twitter
of what's
account,
going on so
posting
far.
a tweet saying essentially that we will win.
You know, I showed you
Nerves
guys
of
Twitter
steel,
and that
stand
also in that
strong,
last video.
but certainly a
So,
very
you know
tense and
what?
volatile situation.
I'm going to go right now. I will be
continue to
back
follow the story
with
for
any
developments, and we have
updates.
people on
I've
the ground there as
already,
well. Ward, thanks very much.
I'm not even going to
Back
say
here
it
in the
because
U.S., new
it's...
stonewalling from
I'm
President
not
Trump
even
as
gonna,
Democrats seek to investigate his
And look at
financial
that, a big
Trump
story
family.
like that, and
Now suing Deutsche
CNN.
Bank
Look at
and
that.
Capital
Trump
One
sues
Bank
banks to block
congressional
subpoenas for
subpoenas. Now to
records.
discuss this and a whole bunch of stuff. Legal analysts,
It's like sick to have the fake news on in the background.
So,
But alright, guys.
the one bank that would really loan to Trump
Red
for
Pill
many of his deals,
Dispensary. This is the
$50
Red
million
Pill.
in recent
You know I'll be
years.
right back
And
as
a lot
soon as this updates.
legitimate questions
All right,
about what
stay
those loans
free.
were for and so on.
And
What's the law
like
here
my
in
buddy
terms of who has
Monty
rights
says,
to those records?
if you can't
It
speak
is
freely,
usually the
you are simply
case
not
that
free.